Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the Hacienda Village Bloods. The Hacienda Village Bloods are based out of the Hacienda Village Projects, which is now called Gunsack Village since 2000. The housing project was constructed in 1942, being the oldest projects in Watts. The Hacienda Village Projects would later become a crime-riddled area, with the Bloods becoming a force in the area and taking the name of the projects as their identity. Several gangs in Watts would become a major force in the streets, and many were based out of housing projects like the Great Street Crips, the P.J. Watts Crips, the Bounty Hunter Bloods, and of course Hacienda Village Bloods. Hacienda Village was being the smallest of the four projects. Even though they were a smaller project, they was known to get active. Hacienda Village gained a reputation for its high frequency of gang-related crimes. The Los Angeles Times said Hacienda Projects was one of the most dangerous in the nation and had a higher crime rate than many areas in LA. April 1992, Crips and Bloods in Watts would agree to peace. That included sets like the Great Street Crips from the Jordan Down Projects, the P.J. Watts Crips from the Imperial Courts, the Bounty Hunter Bloods from the Nickerson Gardens, and the Hacienda Village Bloods. They all agreed to a ceasefire. Several other events going on during that time period. This all contributed to the LA riots happening in the same month. Many other gangs followed in the ceasefire, but this wouldn't last forever, with many gangs going back to being rivals. The Hacienda Village Bloods are allies of hoods like the Circle City Power Rules and the Bounty Hunter Bloods. Their rivals include sets like Great Street Crips, the Back Streets, the Front Street Crips, Funchtown Crips, the East Coast Crips, and Hispanic gang that rep the same area as them, the Village Boys. But with that being said, let's get into some cases. On July 19th, 2010, 911 was called by a man named David near 6th and Maple, where a man named Jody was laid out lifeless. David was later interviewed at the police station and had a residue test ran on him. David's test came back inconclusive, and David was later released. The police questioned several people about the events that happened in the area, including a woman named Demaya. She gave her account of the events, and Demaya told the police that David was a Hacienda Blood, and he was around in the area, starting trouble. David got into an altercation with a man named Chaboy. Maya told the police that David was flamed up head to toe, and said that David and Chaboy got into an altercation, which led David to walk away and make a phone call. Soon the man would pull up for David, and the man walked up to David, and David said, "Hey bro, give me that thing," which David started to start firing at Chaboy, who started to run. Demaya even said that she didn't see Jody get shot, but she believed David did it. Now on July 22nd, 2010, Chaboy walked into the police station and gave his description of events that happened. He said David was banging on everybody that night, letting them all know that he was a big blood. He said one night he first seen him, and he pulled out a strap taking his brother's phone. Now the next time he seen him was July 19th. He said David and him got into an altercation, but Chaboy said David made a phone call, leading to him getting chased and shot at. 15 minutes later, Jody Lifeless' body was found. David denied everything that happened. He wasn't charged with killing Jody, but he was charged with trying to shoot at Chaboy and robbing his brother, which got him 15 to life. In April 2012, Michael from Village Boys and his girlfriend got beat the hell up by several Hacienda Village Bloods. So in response, Village Boys members Max, Jose, and Ricardo drove in multiple cars to the Hacienda Village Projects looking for a victim. The three men seen Hacienda Village Blood named Ray Ray. They fired over 10 shots at him from multiple straps, taking his life. The day after the shooting, Jose told Michael, "We got a Hasi." Just the next month, the Village Boys sold the straps to an undercover police officer. Jose's phone was pinned to cell phone towers, and Max's dumbass was on probation, so he had an ankle monitor, so they pinned him to the crime. All three men, Jose, Max, and Ricardo, were all arrested in 2014. While in jail fighting the case, Max was in a cell with another inmate. His dumbass told everything. He admitted to being there and also them shooting the Hacienda Blood. He said he never shot, but his homies did it. In 2015, police bugged Ricardo's cell. He ended up having a combo with a cellmate. He talked about two of his homies putting in some work, and he said he wanted to get every black that he seen that night. He said he blasted the dude, and he got rid of the straps later on. Ricardo Bozo ass was later sentenced to 50 years to life. Max received 40 to life, and Jose received 40 to life as well. January 13th, 2017, Sam, Raul, and Pedro were sitting in Sam's car on 106 in Hacienda Village Projects. All three were from Village Boys. A Hacienda Village Blood named Little Tank walked up to the group with another blood and asked the group where were they from. And without hesitation, 15 shots followed, taking the life of Sam. A witness named Georgina who lived in the projects told the police that two Bloods approached the Village Boys and she said Little Tank and his homie banged on the village boys, which led to them shooting them. About a month later, Georgina left the projects because several Bloods had been threatening her and pointing straps at her, and also threatened to shoot up her house. She would later testify in court, but her son was later ran over by the Hacienda Village Bloods, causing permanent damage. Later, a village boy named Too Short was arrested on a separate charge. He started giving police info. He told the police that the Hacienda Village Bloods and the village boys were cool at a point. He said the shooting was personal, and several months earlier, he said Sam and a blood named Kwani got into an altercation, which Kwani got into it with several other village boys, leading to Kwani tagging on their block and disrespecting them. Then this led to Kwani getting his ass beat. Raul was later questioned about the shooting, and he did something that rarely ever happens. He didn't say nothing at all. He said he knew Little Tank, but he said Little Tank didn't have nothing to do with the shooting, and he said Little Tank wasn't even involved. Little Tank was arrested several months later though. His phone placed him to 106th Street in the projects where the shooting happened. Earlier that day, he went to a store, which showed him wearing the same thing that he did in the shooting. So this later got Little Tank 60 years to life. Over the last few years, the Hacienda Village area has changed a lot, with their crime in that area dropping about 26%. The Hacienda Village Bloods went viral a few months ago, with a 34-year-old man getting put on a set and getting the pack out on his put on. In my opinion, that's embarrassing as hell. Like how your old ass getting put on? Your big homie half your age. Imagine being 34 in a store running to a 17-year-old. The Hacienda Village Blood should have kicked him in his ass and sent him on his way. In the fight, this fool was windmilling, looking like a fairy blood. But hey, it's none of my business though. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.